Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Jill here with Illuminating Women, and we are on one of our Fridays, Lunch and Learn. And as a lot of us are still staying at home during this COVID-19, and then with all of the new things that have gone forward with the protesting in the street and the Black Lives Matter, we have seen a lot of people feeling some anxiety and some stress and panic attacks. There's so much uncertainty and a lot of fear. I had asked Sharon Hockenbury, who has been working on a new coaching program to help people get through those times of trauma and anxiety and panic attacks. And I asked her to come to give us some tips and some tools and some golden nuggets that we can do for ourselves and that we can help others. Because here in Illuminating Women, we are a sisterhood and we're a community supporting one another. And we believe strongly in the power of education that can influence and impact positively our personal development and our professional growth. So Sharon, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today to come in here and share with us the Serenity Now and what we can do to help us get there. And what we'll do is because we're kind of a small group today, when you're done talking, we like to talk, have a little more intimate questions and whatnot, Sharon. So when you're done, I'm going to stop the recording and everybody else can pop on and we can ask some of our questions and dive a little deeper. So Sharon, thank you again and welcome to this place.
Oh, thank you, Jill, and it's an honor to be here. I started developing this Serenity Now program back in February, and I had no idea how apropos it would be. And not only for reaching out to others and giving them skills, but also for myself to re-establish, re-ground myself in what I know to be true and to work in order to help me manage anxiety, panic attacks, and chronic tension. So my story starts actually many, many years ago. I woke up in the middle of the night with a racing heart and a sense of panic like I had never experienced. I felt like there was the weight of an elephant on my chest. And I picked up the phone and I called the emergency room and let them know what was happening. I wasn't sure if I was having a heart attack. And the nurse says, well, I think you're having a panic attack. And I said to myself, panic attack? I've never had a panic attack before. And so, the options were for me to come in, get medication to help me calm down. But I used what little skill set I had at that time to work my way through. But from that moment on, chronic anxiety began to be a part of my life. It was so bad that even fluorescent lights, I could feel the pulsing of electrical lights in light sockets, any kind of electronics by my bed, I could feel it buzz. I was triggered easily. I found my ability to cope and keep my mind straight on what was ever true, right, and lovely, of good repute. All those things began to just disappear, and I didn't know what was happening to me. It was very, very scary. And so I began to research and find out what had happened to me, why it happened to me, and how I could keep it from ever happening again. So that's how this program started. And as the years have gone through, it has evolved and other pieces of the puzzle have come together, and it culminated into the Serenity Now program. And so one of the first things I want to address right now is the basis of nutrition in supporting us when it comes to dealing with anxiety. And when I say nutrition, the main focus is on blood sugar levels. Now, I notice through the years as I've been working with people, I began to see the consistency that when people's blood sugars drop, they start experiencing anxiety. Now, some people, when their blood sugars drop, they get kind of shaky, and diabetics sometimes, or people with hypoglycemia, they shake. People that don't have those underlying conditions often just begin to feel anxious. They get tight in their bodies, And it's really their body crying out for some nutrition, something to bring their blood sugars back. Women are prone to be dieters. They are always, I shouldn't say always, but as a general rule, women tend to be more concerned about their weight, and they go on various diets, whether it be a keto diet or a vegan vegetarian diet, a paleo diet. Some are having the COVID-19 diet, where that's their source of comfort, is just eating. So dieting, it can be important, but one thing I want you to realize is when we are focused on dieting, we can lose touch with our body's signals, our natural hunger and full signals. And to me, that is foundational. No matter what type of diet you eat, and I'm all for whole foods, organic, doing the best you can, but being aware of your body's signals. Realizing, am I hungry? Am I satisfied? Because even overeating can cause insulin and spikes and then drops. And so then we can get lows afterwards. So the goal I want for you to concentrate on, right, is, am I hungry? And what does that feel like in my body? For me, I begin to feel a little bit of anxiety. And and now I'm to the point where I can ward it out. I can listen to the niggle, and I can be proactive in nourishing. So anytime you have a sense of underlying anxiety, the first thing I want you to ask is, am I hungry? The second thing I want you to ask is, are you thirsty? And the last thing is, are you tired? And I think when we stop and pause and ask and meet those three basic needs, we can do a great service to ourselves to warding off anxiety. So remember, managing your blood sugars by listening to your hunger and full signals, and listening to your body for a niggle that it has a need, instead of having to react as it shouts to you for a need. The other thing that I'd like to point out is the importance of being proactive when it comes to dealing with emotions. So we talked about being proactive with our nutritional base and balancing blood sugars. And I want you to be proactive about giving opportunity to yourself to actually feel emotions. Now, we're in a group of incredible women, illuminating women. We have so many resources, and we're all tend to be a positive, uplifting group of women. And I tend to be Pollyanna too, oh, it's all going to work out. It's, I'm not worried. I know God's got it under control. And this is what I call spiritual bypassing, not giving ourselves opportunity to feel the feels. And one of the ways I like to do that for myself is to take time each day and just do a simple breathing where I settle into myself and I just let the emotions flow. And sometimes I don't even realize that they're bubbling underneath the surface until I take that time. So for me, I sit right now in the window overlooking the river at my condo, and I just fold my hands, close my eyes, and I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth in a circular fashion, not pausing at the top and not pausing at the bottom. So just breathing in and out and allowing the emotions to just bubble up, not giving them any explanation, not any definition, just letting yourself feel the feels. For me, sometimes it'll be this feeling of anger, and I don't even have to guess why. I just let it bubble up. It could be tears. Recently it's been more tears. There is a lot going on in the world, and we each need to get up and go about our days, at least we desire to, So affording yourself the routine to feel the feels by breathing circularly, and I'd be happy to email you a little descriptive cheat sheet on this afterwards, or Jill can put it in the notes, or you can contact me and I can email you this spiritual bypassing breathing. So routine of giving yourself opportunity to feel the feels so that it doesn't end up in an explosive expression that we often call a panic attack. Okay, so it's like letting off the steam a little bit, not being so Pollyanna that you don't feel the feels. And you know what, sometimes those feels can be overwhelming joy. But a lot of times we just need ourselves to have opportunity to feel sadness, to feel grief. And I think this has been addressed before, but I will mention it again. During this time of COVID and now during protest and not knowing sometimes what is truth and what's a lie, we feel this discombobulated in our heads. And it's just so important to give ourselves opportunity with routine, okay? So eating, asking yourself, am I hungry? Am I full? Am I tired? And if you're tired, backtrack, I wanted to tell you this, it doesn't mean you have to take a nap. Sometimes it's just closing your eyes for 2 or 3 minutes and just resettling and giving yourself a permission, okay? And then now the final thing I want to address is things that can help balance out the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the system that we don't control, our breathing, our heart rate. And it can stay in the back of our mind in kind of a hyper state. And so doing things that will help calm our nervous system. A common one might be a bath, a warm bath. There's a technique with Avianca massage where you're actually using warm oils to rub your body down from head to toe, hitting pressure points on your ears, getting pressure on your hair, working your crown chakra, and then moving the lymph. All of that is nourishing to that parasympathetic nervous system. I also do hypnotherapy, and with hypnotherapy, we can come into an induced state where we establish anchors. And if you want to experiment a little bit, you can go to YouTube and find a hypnotherapy session and bring yourself down and nurture your parasympathetic nervous system. And that helps us, again, relieve the tension. So self-massage is just vital. And then maybe some hypnotherapy. The program that I have developed is actually 4 weeks. And through those 4 weeks, we walk through each of these, and then you're given emails and lots of resources so that you can choose things that actually will work for you, that feel congruent to your being. And then when it comes to the thought process, stress is exasperated by crazy thoughts. And whenever tomorrow in North Bend, there's going to be a peaceful protest, okay? So as a business owner, I'm hearing all sides. Somebody just left my shop saying, are you going to board up the place? Are you, look out for this car because this person has been known to show up. And then my friend is the one that's sponsoring the protest. Well, my mind could go really, really, really crazy. And I just make the choice to ask some questions. And one of the things I ask is, right now, the part that loves me and wants me to grow, what is she saying? So by stopping and pausing and asking yourself that question, insight can come. So in this situation, I pause, I breathe, and I ask, the part that loves me, and wants me to grow is telling me, Sharon, you don't need to worry. Sharon, you can be at peace. Sharon, this is going to be a peaceful protest. And finally, you will know what you need to do when it's time for you to do it. Now, establishing those truths just came to me, okay? So I know they're true for me. Now I could spend my energy fretting, trying to get plywood, which I've already heard they're sold out, finding out, should I get a gun and should I have people show up at my store? None of that is congruent with who I am, okay? So I have to stay in alignment with who I am. Now, will there be consequences? There could be. But when I make a choice and I respond by from a place of integrity with who I am, the consequences don't have the devastating consequences mentally. Yeah, if my store gets busted up and I'm shut down because I have to clean up, those are all consequences. But guess what? I didn't step out of alignment with who I am. I'm not an aggressive, violent person. And I do feel like I want to be open, excuse me, to be a part of my community and stand for peace. So those are some little tidbits here. And Jill, it's a 12:31. I wasn't sure how long you would. I know it's 12:30. So listen to your bodies. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Are you tired? Okay. Really nourish yourself. Stop and ask yourself, the part that loves you and wants you to grow, what does she want you to say? And breathe into the emotions in the morning. Give yourself opportunity to let off steam in a healthy, safe environment. And if there's any other questions you have or any other way that I can help you, feel free to reach out. I'm very passionate about helping women eradicate panic attacks. And eliminate anxiety and erase tension. Okay. And blessings to you all. And Jill, I'll hand it back over to you.
Sharon, that was wonderful. One of the things I so respect about you, and I like to joke, Sharon does windows and toilets, because you're like, yeah, she does it all. You're a constant learner. And you have, for all those years, you research and you look for evidence and from the people that you have helped. And I do believe that in our lives, when we get new opportunities like you did to take on this new, coaching program, because you are a mother, you are a grandmother, you are a wife, you are a business owner in a small community, and you have so much respect because you offer a nutrition store and you teach us Zumba and dance. And I mean, again, this is why it's just the list goes on, and you're constantly looking, what is it I need to do now? Because we grow, we change, we move to different levels, and we need different help. And the fact that you are a woman who has those experiences in life between family and business and community, and what you put out, what you're sharing is that truth, and that alignment is so positive and so right on. And the timing is absolutely perfect, because we are going to see more people, especially when those who've lost their jobs, who don't know when they're going to get some income. And that fear can take over, and then we're not thinking clearly. And you're right, the messages that can go on in the mind. And I will just share here publicly that my own son had some anxiety and issues and came to do some hypnotherapy with Sharon, and they're game changers, and it's all a process. It's all a work in process. And I'm just so grateful for your participation in the Illuminating Women community on the video. I'm about ready to stop the video so we can talk a little more. But I do want you to know that, Sharon, I want to thank you again for doing that, that on this video, I will have how you could reach out and find Sharon and what she's, where she's at. Who do you know? Say this, who do you know? There are people that need this, and when we can support and help each other with what we've learned, and it helps somebody else, that's just keeps that beautiful ball flowing. It keeps the flow happening. So Sharon, thank you so much, and blessings to you, my friend, and come check us out, illuminatingwomen.com. Come see us on our social media, and stay engaged, stay healthy, and love yourself. Bye-bye, everybody.